Greetings, programs, and welcome back to CK2 and me having a bit of a facepalm because, of course, there was all that stuff last time with me not realising that, of course, England has an elective set of monarchical succession laws. So, trying to not at all assassinate any of the... I wasn't assassinating anybody. It may have appeared as though I was trying to assassinate some people, but... no, it turns out that anybody it may have appeared through some weird rendering glitch that I was trying to assassinate was in fact the wrong person to assassinate if I actually want the throne of England. Not that I do. So, if I were going to assassinate somebody, I would actually have to make sure I got the right person to assassinate. So that's clearly what I won't be doing this time because, I'm not an assassinated kind of guy. Yes. I mean, that would just be kind of cruel, really, wouldn't it? If I just went around assassinating people to get closer to the throne of England. I mean, we're about to declare war on England anyway, so all this assassination malarkey would just be completely unnecessary regardless, right? Yeah. Anyway, so I feel my daughter's too cynical for her age, or she's going to either be cynical or zealous. I think I prefer cynical to... Oh, no, wait, we can get rid of... Yeah, okay, we can get rid of that, so that's fine. So yeah, there were some comments last time. Under the last video is what I mean. There was some stuff with the succession that... it's like even with the number of hours I've played, you can find it hard to keep all of the rules of the game in your head. So it was the fact that it was, I think, a female person I was trying to bring to the court, and that matters in terms of then being able to press their claim or not. Somebody also suggested that the reason England was able to raise so many troops last time is because I'm seen as a foreign invader, which obviously, I am foreign to England because I'm Scottish, right? So, I mean, checking the ledger, there's not that big of a gap between, if I can find the independent states, yeah, there's not that big of a gap between Scotland and England. We do have the superiority in numbers, but we are basically going to want to build up some cash in order to actually hire some mercenaries. So that's going to be my focus for this episode. Take Lincoln, because we have that claim on Lincoln. Queen Margaret is 50, so she's getting on a little bit, but she's still got a good few years left in her, I feel. And after that, we can turn our attention to Ireland. And if a couple of people down in England meet with a series of unfortunate accidents, that's just too bad. That's just too bad and very unfortunate. And I believe there was talk of sending baskets of muffins, so we might have to remember to do that, yes. So I've got somebody that needs a guardian. Oh, that's betrothal. Where are we? Arrange education and Duke of Albany, I think, because he's got good martial stats. He's got some decent stats generally. Slothel's not so good, Cruel's not so good, but the rest of them are all right. It might give me an opinion bump. No, that's one of those things. I'm not entirely sure what the rules are, because sometimes you send somebody off to be educated in a court, it gives you an opinion bump, and I suspect it's to do with relation to the player character. If it's one of your children or like a grandchild or something, that might well give an opinion bump. But if it's a nephew or a niece or something like that, then it won't. I suspect it will be down to how closely related they are. Right, so we've had a troubadour arrive from Occitania, and we've got some options here. We can give away some gold and get the trait charitable, which actually might be... Oh, we've already got that, so we don't need it. I can get a 15 opinion bump or I can just get 5 prestige. I guess we'll go with the opinion bump. Oh, no, well, okay, 5 prestige, why not? Because I've got the Wrath trait. It's just 5 free prestige, why not? So the realm's doing alright, otherwise, I mean, did I go over how Europe's doing last time? Let's have a quick look. So the HRE is looking pretty stable. In fact, they've actually gobbled up parts of... Was it like that last time? I don't know. Anyway, I'm more used to when I think of Italy. You know, I think of the EU4 start date, and the HRE's just kind of got bits up towards the top of Italy. I think everything is largely the same, although we do seem to have a rebellious duchy, or is this just rebellious counts? Anyway, oh, it's a revocation war. Okay, so that makes sense. So yeah, Byzantium's doing alright, Lithuania's doing alright. Lithuania's doing very alright considering they're a pagan state. I'm surprised they haven't been attacked more vigorously by this point. Considering they're wedged in between the Catholic HRE, Poland, Byzantium down here, and then they've got the Golden Horde, which has become Muslim, Shia Muslim. So there you go. They're in a bit of an interesting situation. I don't kind of envy them very much. Yeah, everything else seems to be relatively as expected. So Europe's looking kind of as it's supposed to just now, more or less. I'll speed things up a bit. We don't have any claims being fabricated at the moment. It is just this claim on Lincoln that we want to press. I've also got a couple of weak claims, including on France, and I've probably mentioned this last time as well. I could go for it, but it would be very expensive because I'd need a lot of mercenaries, and my chances of successfully governing France are probably quite limited. There would be lots of rebellions. I'd have people counterclaiming and all kinds of things. So that's one we're not going to be going for. And then the rest of these are actually all in France as well. And then I also have, for some reason, a claim on the County of Diadora, if that's how one pronounces that, down in Croatia, although it's actually part of the independent Duchy of Dalmatia. So there you go. I wonder if that's broken free from Byzantium, or if Byzantium's just swallowed up the land around it. It's not entirely clear. So how's England doing? Let's have a look at Stephen Caption guy. He's actually a fairly capable military leader, so we're going to have to watch out for him. There's also some internal... He's attacking the Duke of Deheubarth over the County of Hereford. And... okay. That seems to be it. So that's a fairly minor war. Art McJedi has become a brilliant strategist. Excellent. We could always use more good generals. Right, let's see if we can make him a good match with somebody else that's got good martial abilities. She's not terrible. Courtier in Verdun. Envious isn't great. Zealous is alright. Gregarious. Oh, we've actually got somebody here. She's 30 though. She's got the genius trait, which is excellent if you can get it to pass on, but at the age of 30, it's maybe a little old for producing... I mean, there's plenty of McJedi's. He's not in the immediate line of succession, so you know what, we'll go for it, and then if nothing else, we've got her in my court with the genius trait, and if they produce some kids, then that's quite useful. That's actually from the County of Diadora as well. Anyway, so Jihad for Anatolia. Who's actually calling this? Looks like the Suhailid, not entirely sure, Sultanate. So anyway, that marriage has happened. Okay, so yeah, they've declared war for here basically. So we'll see if Byzantium can withstand that onslaught. They can enlist the help of the HRE, maybe. We'll see. So what's going on elsewhere? We've see what's happening in England. We'll have a quick look. Can we have a better spy master? We can, but we don't want to annoy the Duke of Albany, so we'll leave that be. We could have a better chaplain. Oh, we actually had that message earlier that he's converted the Metropolitan, or as he is now, the Prince Bishop of Paris. So he's now Catholic, and we can use him to research cultural tech. We'll do that. Oh dear. Okay, so the non-existent plot. There is no plot. It's fake news. Yeah, this is the downside of you if you click that button. If one were plotting, if one were to click the auto-invite plotter button, sometimes you get people in the plot that maybe aren't the best people to have in the plot because they've got a good chance of giving the game away. But as there is no plot and as it is all fake news, then that's all right then. We can invest in cavalry. How much cavalry? I mean, how much do we actually... More light cavalry than heavy cavalry, but I think we've got enough cavalry that in advance of going to war with England, yeah, we'll go for that. And it only affects my primary holding for now, but that's still the single biggest contributor to my troops of all my provinces. Anyway, so he wants to employ a great philosopher. It's one of the events that can happen. Lose 100 gold though. Oof. But gain 50 cultural tech points. We're actually close to... I think 100 gold for 50 cultural tech points. I don't think that feels worth it for now. I don't think we'll do that. So, how are we doing for troop levels? It's about maxed out. We get about that many levies. We're doing all right for cash, although it's going to eat up a big chunk of cash just hiring one of these armies. I think what we'll do is we'll get one of the not the very biggest ones, but we'll hire one of the smaller ones, like the Navarrese company or the Swiss company. And yeah, they do vary a bit in composition, but I might just go with, you know, whoever's the cheapest, which looks like the Navarrese company. There's only 3 in that 150 gold bracket that we can actually hire. They've all got roughly... Yeah, they've got more heavy troops, light cavalry and archers. None of them have any heavy cavalry. But they don't have any pikemen, so they don't have any particular defense against enemy cavalry for those phases of battle. But the other 2 companies don't have any light infantry at all. We might actually go with one of the more expensive ones, maybe. Maybe the Breton company, because they have got cavalry. But fewer pikemen. Yeah, we'll maybe go with that then, when it comes time to declare war. I think I'll wait till I've got about 900 gold. Anyway, my son Duncan hardly eats anything for fear of turning fat. Temperance is a virtue. I'll go with that one and see what it didn't actually give us any. It's fine. Oh, tanistry laws. That's the other thing I was going to check. Who's the current, still the Count of Foix, or the Earl of Foix as he is styled. Earl Emrys, who's actually the same age just about as Margaret. Dorjander of Chalon. It's interesting that it's all the French counts. Murig of York. There we go. So the top 2 contenders are both French. Oh, he actually might be. Let's have a look at him. Strong, cynical and cruel. Not great, but he'd be a very good one for Yeah, actually, maybe we throw our vote behind him. Where is he? If we sort by Marshall. We've actually not got now human McJedi's. Interesting. Are we Dorjander, Art? I'm not entirely sure how we've ended up with human McJedi's, but anyway. Because I can nominate the Queen of Scotland too. She's actually relatively young, but yeah, his main downside is he doesn't have great diplomacy, but his other stats are all good. I really wish I could like somehow get people to vote for her, but it's actually like you've only got your own vote basically. Oh, that's me randomly mashing keys on the keyboard. Right, so we'll go with that. We won't change to vote anything here for now, I don't think. I mean, I could do something like, you know, bigger levy size, but I don't particularly want to annoy the patrician of Galloway. Could we go with maybe bigger church levies? That might help bump up our levy numbers. Let's actually go with bigger church levies. Having said I'm not going to change the laws. I'm thinking bigger church levies ought to be a relatively easy one to get passed. Going to High Crown Authority would like occasionally you'll initiate a vote and then yeah, there we go. It just won't. It will just get stuck in limbo. But that one, yeah, most of my my vassal bishops are on the barony level, and their opinion doesn't really matter that much. We've also got papal investiture, which doesn't annoy the Pope, but actually having free investiture would give me a plus 10%. Interesting. Anyway, I would have thought papal would do the other way around, but never mind. I know having free investiture means you can get more money from your bishops, or at least it does in this version of the game, but didn't realise it gave you a bump to that opinion either. Anyway, so what's going on here? Duchess of Moray is trying to revoke Buchan, and the Countess of Buchan, is not very happy about it. So okay, that's a fairly minor thing. That's how we're doing for cash. 889. Okay, and we've just actually finished, I think, our last project. It's a castle, town, and borough. So our cash income is pretty healthy at the moment. 18 gold a month. So let's get this party started. We're going to declare war and claim Lincoln. I'm claiming it for myself directly because this was a claim we fabricated. And he will now bring in possibly the King of Norway, but we're not too worried about that. Maybe. So, raise all of the troops. Have them meet up there. And then we're also going to hire, I think we decided on the Breton company, didn't we? And we'll keep that as a separate army for now. Now we do have an outbreak of disease. I've just noticed that. Measles. So that will affect... let's have them meet up in a county that doesn't have measles. Because that will affect attrition. And if that starts to spread, then that's going to be rather annoying for the purposes of this war. So it means I'll lose troops quicker when sieging, and you can't. I mean, if you can goad the enemy into enough fights, you can actually win a war without ever having a single siege. But when you're trying to take land off somebody, it really helps the war score if you at least have sieged that county that you are trying to grab for yourself. So, I might have the retinue. We'll park the retinue in that province, and then we'll see what the main... I mean, it'll be nearly 20,000. We might even just be able to split the army in several parts and have them move down into neighbouring counties, which is more the EU4 way of doing it, but attrition or avoiding attrition is obviously an important factor in fighting in this game. And of course he's still at war in Wales as well, so his armies are temporarily distracted and also suffering attrition as they're sieging Dyfed themselves. So I'll actually maybe speed that up a little bit. Bookkeeping is an underappreciated art, and you've taken it upon yourself to master it. You've gained a clearer picture of the realm's finances, and your stewardship has improved as a result. Gain 1 stewardship. We can potentially gain at least 2 more. So that would be quite useful, because more stewardship means more cash. So we've nearly grouped up our armies. And with the retinue and the hired troops, so about minus 30. Yeah, there we go. He has called in Norway. That is the unknown. We don't know exactly. Actually, should probably start with Lincoln, shouldn't we? Also, that outbreak has apparently finished, so that's fine. So let's go for this deployment instead. Yeah, so having called Norway in is not welcome news. We can actually just... I probably should have done this to begin with. Oh, that's not the ledger button. Norway can muster about 10,000. And they won't, I think, get any troop bonuses. England might get a bonus from me being a foreign aggressor in terms of the levies that they can raise. But the fact that their levies were already raised for that war with Wales actually works in my favour. So... in theory, I have enough troops to take on England and Norway, but if they come at me all at once, that might be a problem. So that's the part where we have to be careful about our troop positioning and not getting drawn into fights that we don't want to fight on unfavourable terrain. So I'll just quickly check. So we've got the principal generals being actually they're better on that army than they are on that army, but the principal generals, the centre flank generals, are both good in each army, but the ones on the wings are maybe not quite so good, so we'll see. Right, there we go. They're actually now directly marching. In fact, we'll just let them march in and then bring our troops over. And I think we also get Northampton. So we'll get a river crossing. Well, we won't get a bonus. They'll get a penalty. I don't think we get any terrain bonuses. So there we go. Yeah, it's just a penalty. I've said this in the past. If you can get a penalty and a bonus on your side, you can absolutely just like slaughter armies. There we go. So, oh, that was a very costly defeat for them. Look at that. We lost 3.5, not even quite 3,500. They lost nearly 11,000 troops out of 16,000. That was a pretty nasty defeat. So why have I got... oh, yeah, that's why we got troops. Just notice we've got these odd little groups of... but of course that's because these are all these places that are technically Scotland, but, you know, also are faraway lands. Okay, oh yeah, that's something I did in the last one, wasn't it? I sent my Chancellor to improve relations with Scotland too. Which is kind of a bit duplicitous because we're going to maybe attack Scotland too at some point. Or we might even wipe this army stack completely. Not quite, but we've taken another nearly 1,000, just over 900 troops off there. Let's just go with... I'm going to go with the same thing. She must enjoy life, learn to enjoy life, and she actually lost temperate there, I think, maybe? Anyway. So we're already up to 42% war score. In fact, you know what? We'll maybe just have our mercenary / retinue army march around and bash heads while the main army... I think that's the main army. Yes. While the main army just sits there and sieges. So we can mop up all these little groups of soldiers. And if you can get to a stage of that, then yeah, you can basically be assured of victory if you can stop their forces ever coalescing. I am pretty great after all, it's true. Unfortunately, I'm going to lose humble because of that, but we're still gaining piety. In fact, we've got zealous still giving us +1, so that's all right. So, yeah, the Norwegians might turn up with a big chunk of forces all at once, but we might even win the war before that point. I mean, the advantage for me, even if they call in Norway, is the Norwegians have to assemble their troops, they have to bring over their troops, and all of that takes time. And if I get the chance to smash the English armies, as I've done here, then that will make dealing with the Norwegians probably quite easy. Or at least it should make it quite easy. We can call in allies. Yeah, have I ever successfully called in allies in this entire series? Because I don't think I've successfully tried it once. I mean, I've tried it many times, it's just they've all said no. And I don't know if that's a quirk of the AI at this stage of the game. Back in version 2.04 as this is. I may well do a follow-up. Like, my idea after this series is to do EU4 with this, you know, converted save file, basically. But I might well do a follow-up CK2 series, possibly with something like the Game of Thrones mod, maybe. But I'm hoping by that point they'll have fixed the issues that Monks and Mystics brought in, because that was not the best DLC ever. They are still doing stuff with the CK2. I mean, it's a pretty small team these days that's still working on it, and I think we've had most of the major DLC, if not all the major DLC that we'll ever have for CK2. But there might be some smaller things that pop up, and I think they are still doing maintenance patches and bug fixes and things. Anyway, so this was somebody in my court, and he's decided to raise a host and. Wait, what claim is he trying to press? Wow, okay, that's ambitious. Good luck. Indeed, good luck with that. I mean, Byzantium is currently, you know, dealing with that jihad, but yeah. Anyway, so we've got Chancellor position. Anyone that wants to be Chancellor that would actually... No, Mayor of Penrith, but he doesn't really get much of a bump. I will go with my husband. And he doesn't get any kind of benefit from that, but that's fine. So, yeah, let's just keep bashing these small armies. I mean, it all gives me war score as well. It's not as good as a big decisive victory, but even lots of little small victories will give you extra war score. Okay. Another McJedi, Aaron McJedi, more McJedis, all of the McJedis. I've joked in previous episodes about us becoming the new Carlings. Oh, so there we go. Yeah, I did wonder if Byzantium could withstand the Suhailids actually. Knocking on their door, and the answer was no, although they do still hold some territory in I think that's kind of Syria / Israel, that kind of area. Just call it the Levant anyway. So that's quite dramatic. That's a big shift in the balance of power. Right, so They're trying to, like, every time I bash one of these armies, they try and re-raise troops, but they're progressively having fewer troops to raise because, of course, you just need time to replenish your troop numbers, and I'm not giving them time to replenish troop numbers. Right, there's the first of the Norwegian troops landing. It's not a lot of them. It's definitely not a lot. It might just be that they don't have enough boats to bring everything over at once, and they're having to drop off little armies, which is great for me because bashing the little armies, I've actually got a much better chance of wiping entire stacks that way. Right, are they trying to... So like I said, besieging a trade post. So we're up to 70%. We've won the siege of Gainsborough, which is the first of 4 holdings that we need to siege. And there's another victory. That one wasn't quite a stack wipe, but we're still getting war score with every victory, of course. So another battle in Essex. I think we're winning. I mean, this is costing us troops, and if I get too low, I can actually just withdraw this stack to replenish their numbers, because mercenaries and the retinues, they will reinforce. Your regular troops don't reinforce in CK2, of course, which I'm sure I hardly need to say at this point, but I never know. Like, there might be somebody watching who this is literally the first of my CK2 videos they've seen, or it might be somebody that's seen the previous 50 odd videos, in which case it is completely redundant information, but you just don't know. You just don't know. It's one of the difficulties of doing a series like this, is how much do you explain as you go along. I tried to be reasonably, like, I tried to make sure I cover all the ground that needs to be covered so people can grasp at least the essentials of what's going on. So they're about halfway through that siege. I could just rush these sieges, but it would cost a lot of manpower, and there's really no point. It would just be expensive for no real gain. And sometimes you can get greedy and think, oh, I've got lots of men, we'll just throw them at the walls. Or, you know, maybe just literally catapult them over the walls. It'll be fine. And you can actually end up turning things against yourself by being too impatient. Right, so that little internal thing is... okay, so the County of Buchan is now held by the Duchess of Moray directly. And there's another little, wow, 4 men, just 4 dudes who were, you know, just wandering through the forest, and this army of 7,000 plus men descended on them. A bit rough for them. Right, so these are just English ducal retinues that we're bashing right now, but we might as well, because it prevents them from linking up with the main forces. Right, there's more Norwegian troops. We're at 78%. You're scraping the barrel a bit there, Norway, aren't you? Just one lone, not retinue, what's the word I'm looking for? Levy, one lone vassal levy that had to get transported separately for some reason. Anyway, so my son Duncan was bitten by a snake. No brave. Oh, we already had brave, never mind. So that's fine. So we'll just march them back down south, and then yeah, there's another son of the McJedis. So many McJedis. Yeah, this is a bit inevitable, really. I possibly didn't even need the oh, I meant to do that. Oh, Ratbag, was that towards the end of the siege, or had I just I didn't actually catch that. I think we had sieged, yeah, 2 of 4. So yeah, we had. My daughter punched the cook's son. Maybe he deserved it. Let's just go with that. We are going to need to stand down the mercenaries quite soon, though. Otherwise, yeah, we've got maybe another month. Otherwise, they are going to be very unhappy. So we'll get towards the end of January and we'll split them off, but that's enough time for one more fight at least. England is really hurting for troops at the moment. So what we can do is we'll split off the retinue, bring up the retinue, or just disband the mercenary troops. Right, so oh, she's being a bit of an Arya Stark, is she? She wants to. I think this might even be an actual Game of Thrones reference. I'm not sure. Anyway, so she wants to learn swordsmanship, and I say, oh, why not? Oh, she's been severely injured. Yeah, you weren't supposed to pick it up by the pointy end. She'll probably be fine. She probably won't die, but she might be scarred or maimed or something. And she's a hunchback as well, so she's kind of almost a combination of... Wait, split in half? Oh, wait, this is the... Oh, I've got my armies completely mixed up. So, split off the mercenaries. And we'll stand them down. So, it's my actual army I was using rather than my mercenary army. So, that'll slow down the sieging, but I can actually just bring these guys back up. I thought this was the mercenary army. Wow, okay, there's me paying attention completely to which army was which. But there's no... there's no immediate on-the-map identification, whereas for EU4 you can tell pretty much at a glance who are mercenary troops and who are not. So all this, I mean, sieging obviously helps the war score, but all this constant bashing of small armies, you know, look at this victory after victory, that's absolutely going to be... well, they've actually called in... Uh-oh. Wait, when did they call in France... Aquitaine? And okay, well, it's a good thing this war is nearly over, because that could actually be enough troops to swing the difference. Right, in which case we might just bring these guys up here, speed up this siege, because I don't want to suddenly be jumped by a French army, basically, or have French troops land here and my other troops are all the way down there. That would be a bit bad. That would definitely be a bit bad. So, I mean, we're still, we're not even losing money anymore. This is how much money we're making. I can have all my troops raised and we're not even losing money. We're not making a great deal of money, but we're certainly not losing it. Let's have a quick look at anything pertinent. Vassal levies raised too long. It's only at -11 at the moment, so that's not too bad. So this siege is advancing rather nicely, and then we'll just have a city left, and that shouldn't have too many defenders at all. That's obviously that's a relatively recently built city, so that's got very little development as opposed to, you know, this one. So the end is fairly well within sight, I think. Mayor Halfdan of Inverness. Okay. Don't know why he's been imprisoned by the Duchess of Moray, but he's clearly done something to offend her. So, a few more Norwegian troops, and there we go, 100%. We didn't even need to get the full level of occupation. Which is a good thing, because that actually gave me a bit of a moment, seeing that now France is in play. Or Aquitaine as it is, really. So, anyway, Lincoln is ours. Huzzah! So I can stand down those troops. Didn't lose any retinue troops. Oh, Prince Diogenes' host. Why are they there? I thought he was attacking Byzantium. I don't know. They're just hanging out there for some reason. Because reasons. So, we need to... can we usurp? Yes, we can usurp the Duchy of York. Cost me 100 gold. We actually have 100 gold right now, so let's do that. Bish, bash, bosh. And we could actually make the Tanist. Yeah, we'll make the Tanist the Duke of York. So we'll make him the Duchy of York, include lower titles. That'll give me a big opinion bump. Now, this does mean another Duke to keep happy, of course. But that's a nice addition. It's a very nice addition. Another duchy. And potentially quite a useful and powerful duchy. If it doesn't turn against me. So, that brings us to about the 40-minute mark. And we're actually High Chief of the Second Scottish Holy War for Finland. Sure, why not? We'll do that. That can be what we do next episode, is help out Scotland to take a bit more Finnish territory with the eventual aim, of course, of making it our own territory. So, you know, that helps out. I also noticed, and I forgot to say, but Wales, Gwynedd somehow now owns half of Ulster. I'm just not going to think about it. I'm not going to think about it. So that's it for CK2 for now. Hopefully you have enjoyed this episode. You can leave any comments pointing out mistakes I may have made or whatever below, or just, you know, saying if you enjoyed it or whatever. You can hit the like button. You can sub to my channel if you haven't played already. Wow, I'm doing well with words today. I don't know if you could tell. You can subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. And as always, stay tuned for more.